So I want to talk to you all about two things actually. One thing is the drop Carina, right? It's one of the keyboard that drops cells, right? This is the 60%. It is definitely a very standard layout in comparison to say the Alt, the Control, the Shift, stuff like that. I want to tell you one quick thing about the drop Carina, and then I wanted to show you what I've done to fix it. Okay, so first things first is I've always loved this drop Carina, right? I mean, it's a clear case and it lights, right? So if you like this kind of stuff, which I did in the past, this is definitely the keyboard to have, right? The one that is similar to this would be the Warmer K66 or K88, I believe. There's also a 61 that just recently came out, but for what it is really cool. Now, what I want to explain to you is when you buy this, you either buy the complete or you just buy the kit. And what the kit comes with is the case, the PCB, right? And that's it, right? You have to actually buy the plate separately. What I've come to realize, if you take a look at the whole layout, right? It's actually a standard 60% layout, which means you can get any 60% plate and it will work. It's not perfect. For example, while the holes are exactly in line, it's not going to lock everything in right. What you're going to need to do is actually use the switches to hold the plate onto the PCB. Okay? So I didn't know that. I thought you'd have to buy a Carina plate, but in reality, you could use any plate, which means you could use, a regular version, a brass version, a polycarbonate, you name it, whatever you can find, you can actually leverage and use it for the Carina. I thought that was kind of cool. All right, so that's the drop Carina, right? Now, what I want to talk about is this particular keyboard. So, for example, as I said before, there are, screws that locks in place. I've actually taken it out. It's actually over here. All right, I took it all out. And the reason being is because I want to show you something. Okay? If you take a look, you notice everything looks normal except for the Z. Well, actually, you don't know if it's the Z or the X. It's actually the X. Okay? Can you see it? Okay, so normally for these kind of KO hot swap, right, there are two problems. One problem is one of the sides will actually fall out. You can solder that back in and all's good. Sometimes the whole thing will come out. Okay, for this particular problem, someone I met on Facebook was selling this because he broke it, or it broke and he didn't know what to do, so he sent it to me. So what I've done was I soldered that back in, right? However, the problem is it still didn't function. So here's the trick. There's always a positive side and a negative side. What I mean by that is the positive side is set to whatever letter it would be. Let's say, for example, if it's up here, the positive side, this is D. And then there's a negative side. For every keyboard, for every key, the positive is dedicated to whatever letter that may be. The negative side could be anything. What I mean by that is, for example, what you're seeing here is I took a small little metal wire, right? And what I did was I took the negative side of Z and then I map it to the negative side of X. What that does is when you press X, you get the positive touching the negative. This negative does not work. However, this does. So what happens is when you click, because of this wire, it registers as the X. So you could do the same exact thing. So you could actually connect the negative here to here and it'll work the same. All right. It depends on where in the board it is. It may be going up, it may be going down. But the point is for a small little wire with two solder, you could actually get the keys to work again. Okay. I hope that helps. Now what I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like. Let me put this back in. All right, let me unplug this massive keyboard. All right. This is the reasons why I love this keyboard. I mean, it glows. It is really nice. Okay, let's do this. All right. As you can see, the Z and X works perfectly. All right. So normally when you have a situations where you lost a key, you could do one of two things. You could either ship it in to have it repaired, or you could throw away and then just, buy a new one. What I'm showing you is with that little trick, you now can actually fix your keyboard. Is it perfect? No. I mean, the board itself has a flaw, right? So when I sell this, when I tell people about this, I tell them, hey, X didn't work and I fixed it. However, when all built in, when all fully functional, it works just fine. I mean, it's perfect. Okay. So unfortunately, reality is keyboards are not always perfect. As you use them, some parts will fail. I mean, that's just the nature of what it is. However, with these little fixes, you can actually have a fully functional board, for years to come. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy that. At least one is information about the drop Carina, and the other portion is how to fix a bad key. All right.